this is the West Brook Pond Trail. It's about 2.5 kilometers back to where there's boat rides. There's quite a crowd back there with a couple boats waiting to take people back into the fjord. But I don't have time for that today. I have another 4 hours of riding and it's already past noon, so I'm headed back to my bike. So that's the trail way out there in the distance. Still making my way back. I'm headed south to J.T. Cheeseman Provincial Park, which is right near Channel Port aux Basques, which is the name of the town where the ferry leaves tomorrow, late morning. Spent a good chunk of this morning looking for replacement tires anywhere here on the western side of Newfoundland, as well as Prince Edward Island, which is where I'm headed to, including the northern part of Nova Scotia, and nobody has a complete set of tires that fit the size that I need. It's a little incredible, but I must have called over a dozen places. There aren't that many that are here, and the ones that I did call, sometimes they would have one tire or another tire, or could mix tires for me. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I may try to look ahead for where I plan to be mid next week, and later on today or tomorrow morning, see if I can get some ordered so that they're waiting for me mid next week. I have 351 miles to go to the park. It's 3 hours and 38 minutes according to the GPS. I can't beat that view. Clear sunny day. I'm lucky to have the sun today to take views like that in. I'm into my third week now of this trip. It's funny how the first few days kind of go slowly, and then they all start to blend into one another. You get into a routine, trying to make waypoints and manage putting up the tent, taking the tent down, eating, keeping the bike in shape, get into a rhythm, and the days and then the weeks start to pass. It's pretty easy going, other than when it's raining or when it's really windy. But days like today are just, it's a joy to be out on a motorcycle. Reminds me of out west in the United States. 100 kilometers to go. Gusty winds have picked up in the last 15 minutes or so. Not much traffic. The weather is definitely a-changing, and it's not for the better. The wind's really picked up. Could be a challenge for the next 35 minutes. And it's strange because I'm near trees. I'm still getting blasted around. Wreckhouse winds, 45 kilometers per hour. I don't know what that means. Gusty wind area, next 20 kilometers. So to recap what happened here for the last 12, 16 hours, I got down to probably within about 40 kilometers of the J.T. Cheeseman Provincial Park, where I was going to stay last night, and the weather just turned terrible. There were winds, and it's known locally as house wrecker winds, that were blowing extremely hard for about 20 kilometers. It's probably the worst winds I've dealt with. They were gusty coming off the long range mountains, and apparently that particular stretch of the highway is famous for that issue. So I made it through that, and then it started to rain. I went to the J.T. Cheeseman Provincial Park, and the road was gravel, which was fine, but with the rain I was really worried that it was going to turn greasy, and also that I'd have to put my tent up at night. I ended up going to a restaurant, having fast food, and talking to a fellow that was actually leaving on the ferry last night, and he suggested maybe I should try to move my plans from taking the ferry later on today to last evening. I took him up on that advice. I went to the ferry terminal dock, so they were able to move my ferry reservation to last night, and so I boarded the ship, canceled my reservation at the Cheeseman Provincial Park, and then got on the ferry. And it was a nice ride last night. Didn't have a cabin, slept out in the seats again, but I did get a few hours of sleep. It's the North Sydney Ferry Terminal. So today I think I'm going to ride the Cabot Trail again because I've got extra time. I had set up a hotel reservation for this evening fairly close by here, thinking I was going to get in late this evening, and it's a non-refundable fare. So I will just keep with that, and since I have basically a day to spend, I'm going to go out and enjoy the Cabot Trail again. Last time I did it clockwise. I think I may ride part or all of it counterclockwise today, just for fun. Weather's beautiful, fairly warm, a little bit breezy. Not sure what the extended forecast is, but at least today it looks like it's gorgeous, unlike up in Newfoundland where today and tomorrow we're supposed to be pretty miserable weather. So maybe I've dodged a little bit of a bullet. That house wrecker wind, I think that's what it's called, was just unbelievable. I mean, there were strong winds, but they were gusty, and that was the problem, was trying to anticipate it. I ended up, because it's a single lane highway for most of the way, slowing down to get stability over the bike, which just backed everybody up behind me. But unfortunately, there's just nothing I could do about it. Couldn't get off the highway because there was nowhere to get off to. I was telling my wife last night that at least the cars were respectful, so they kept their distance while I was struggling through the wind. Pretty. There goes the wreck. It's a great lookout up here. About a 10-minute walk up the hill. Restaurant bakery place up here in about half an hour that caught my eye that I want to stop in and see if I can get some food. Probably just call it a day, go to the hotel or motel and chill out for a bit before I start my trip tomorrow to Prince Edward Island. 12% grade. Cabot Trail is well worth the effort of coming up here in and of itself, let alone all the other things that I've been able to do.